90-Day Fiance. Signs Andrei's still too controlling with Libby. They announced a big relationship milestone and he got American citizenship, but are they really happy together? 90-Day Fiance star Andrei is calling the shots in his relationship with Elizabeth Libby Potthast in more ways than one, despite recently celebrating a major milestone together in the US. The couple met on a dating app while Libby was vacationing in Dublin, Ireland. After meeting in person, they fell in love, and Libby applied for Andrei's K-1 visa to get married in America. However, difficulties were never not a part of the couple's storyline, as Libby's family suspected Andrei of having ulterior motives. Despite her family's doubts, Libby and Andrei got married in 2017. Andrei seems self-absorbed. Andrei's the only main character in his storyline. Andrei's content lately screams about him being too obsessed with himself. It is evident whenever Andrei decides to show off his body. He was just casually prepping for a Thanksgiving feast in September 2024 because he needed a 60-day notice to eat that much. Libby's comment "Big Daddy" on the same post seemed like a desperate attempt to get her husband's attention, since the other comments were from his female fans showering compliments on their King of Moldova. The comments that Andrei gets from his admirers on his thirst trap pictures motivate him to do better and share more of such content. Andrei doesn't need Elizabeth's generic comments to give him an ego boost when he is working hard at the tennis court, practicing his moves. Andrei has even hired a coach to teach him tennis, while his fans like Rary_IM try to grab his attention by commenting, "You start hitting the gym again?" Andrei and Libby just celebrated 10 years of partnership. Andrei's got his American citizenship. Meanwhile, Libby recently announced a significant milestone with her partner. She posted a video of herself dancing with Andrei, revealing that they will be celebrating a decade of being together in 2025. Libby wrote, "Going into 2025 with the same person I fell in love with in 2015, showing off that they have been by each other's side for 10 years. Libby described their journey using the song Forever by Chris Brown, suggesting she and Andrei would remain together forever. Libby's making sure that her husband never strays. Libby isn't speaking to a lot of family members. Andrei's tried to alienate Libby from her loved ones. Andrei described them as a cult. He could have been joking, but maybe he was controlling her a bit too much and sealing her off from her family. Andrei making Libby's family sound toxic when they are just looking out for her makes him look manipulative. Andrei wishes to have the upper hand in the marriage so he can be in control, and he's achieving the task already. Libby has been dependent on her family for money and work in the past, on 90-Day Fiancé, but Andrei's involvement in this dynamic has almost uprooted her from where she belongs. 90-Day Fiancé. I think Libby's just fooling herself about Andrei. He got American citizenship because of her, but he could be hard to live with. I think 90-Day Fiancé star Libby Potthast wears rose-colored glasses sometimes, looking for the best in a husband, Andrei, who often treats her badly. A lot of people in relationships put up with more than they should. In matters of love, it's a fine line between compromising and being a doormat. While I respect Libby and feel that she's a fundamentally good person, who's perhaps been too dependent on her family for money and employment in the past, I don't always trust Andrei. It's down to me. The difference in the clothes she wears. Down to me, the change has come. She's under my thumb, the Rolling Stones. The thing is, I actually think Andrei loves Libby. It's just that he's such a hothead. Sometimes, Andrei can't help but freak out, and when he does, he may really hurt his wife. It reminds me of that Rolling Stones song, Under My Thumb, where Mick Jagger brags about taming a woman who used to be more independent. I don't want Libby to live with the kind of rudeness and male chauvinism that I saw on screen. Is Andrei just pretending that he reformed? He may be mean and rude behind the scenes. For years, Andrei's given the men of the world lessons, showing them how not to treat a woman. Whether he's rudely ordering the long-suffering Libby to listen double, cursing at her in his native tongue, or cutting her off from her own family, which he described as a cult, as per US Magazine, he is so out there. The fact that he'll do this stuff while the cameras roll is actually a bit disturbing. Sure, Andrei's crazy like a fox, as the saying goes. He's more than intelligent enough to know that his ongoing fame is tied to acting out. Behaving badly is his personal brand. Thanks to physical fights with Libby's brother, Charlie Potthast, using her dad Chuck Potthast, who got treated like a human ATM, and bossing her around, he's become a villain. He's rewarded with clout and fame, so maybe he doesn't see a problem with what he does. I think Andrei's built a pretty nice life for himself in the US of A. He can enjoy frequent workouts, he can go on holidays. He can pose for happier than ever family portraits with Libby and their 2 children, showing the world that he's got it made. Andrei has an ego, but most people do. That's not why I have a problem with him. I just worry that Libby gets talked down to a lot and internalizes a lot of pain. Now, he's grabbed the brass ring, American citizenship. However, he took advantage of some people, steamrolling them in pursuit of his goal. Hopefully, his intentions with Libby are not of the green card hunting variety. Libby is a strong woman. She's birthed 2 babies, she raises them. She records nursery rhymes. Libby's worked in the property management business for years. She is a reality star. She is more than Andrei's wife, and I don't want her to feel like she has to do everything he says. Obviously, she's been head over heels in love with this guy from day one. Maybe, now and then, she loses herself and feels a sense of emptiness. That's what happens when a person lives with a cruel partner. What's most troubling about Andrei is that he's hot and cold. I think that when he's happy, he's probably the most loving and passionate partner around. He probably love bombs Libby like nobody's business, but when the rain falls, he could be a nightmare. If life gets hard, Andrei may lash out, saying mean things that Libby can never forget, no matter how hard she tries. If that's the case, she's living out a heaven and hell dynamic that may be taking its toll. 90 Day Fiancé star Libby is a sweet person, but she may be kidding herself sometimes, desperately believing in a man who makes her feel like she just isn't good enough. If Andrei really loves her, and I believe he does, he should be gentler. They share 2 wonderful children, Eleanor and Winston, and no one wants to be berated all the time. It's demeaning, and she has never, ever deserved it. I think Andrei can do better than what I saw on screen. A lot of fans are probably rooting for Libby, really wanting her to be happy. Can Andrei actually be any kind of Prince Charming for her? Maybe not. Based on what's been showcased on TV, the photogenic influencer Libby has to push down her anger all the time. While the benefits of being with Andrei may outweigh the drawbacks, on bad days, she may wonder exactly what she's gotten herself into. I hope she understands how powerful she is as a person, and doesn't define herself based on what Andrei thinks. I want the 90 Day Fiancé celeb to be her own person. 90 Day Fiancé? Are Loren and Libby Potthast still friends? This cast member created rift between them. Loren Brovarnik and Elizabeth Libby Potthast's once friendly bond hit a rough patch on 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After, and a surprising cast member may be to blame. Loren Brovarnik has been a fan favorite since her debut on 90 Day Fiancé with husband Alexei. Their journey through the franchise has highlighted real struggles, from cross-cultural marriage to parenting. In After the 90 Days, Loren even considered relocating to Israel with her kids, showing her deep commitment to Alexei's heritage and values. Elizabeth Potthast's story on 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After? Season 9 is focused on her relationship with Andrei Castrovet and their family's future. When Andrei proposed moving to Moldova, Elizabeth was open to the idea. However, Loren criticized her decision despite planning a similar move herself, which caused tension and confusion among fans. This disagreement sparked a noticeable rift between the former friends. The contrast between Loren's plans and her reaction to Elizabeth's echoed larger debates in the 90 Day Fiancé fandom. As both women face big life choices in Season 9, their friendship appears strained under the weight of their different decisions, and someone is widening the rift between them. What happened between Loren and Elizabeth on Happily Ever After? Why Loren decided to speak up for Elizabeth. Loren strongly criticized Elizabeth and Andrei's plan to move to Moldova with their children. She argued Andrei was ignoring Elizabeth's feelings and imposing his own agenda, calling the relocation decision unfair and emotionally risky for the family. Elizabeth admitted fear but felt obligated to comply due to her husband's past sacrifices. The disagreement escalated during Loren's housewarming party, where she questioned Andrei's motives and living conditions in Moldova. Internal tensions led to a heated dinner scene with cast members debating gender roles, motherhood, and controlling behavior. Loren emphasized that a mother's well-being directly impacts her children's future stability. During the tense dinner, Loren's close friend Noga also stepped in, defending Loren's concerns and calling out Andrei's controlling attitude. Noga questioned Andrei's decision-making and pushed back when he dismissed Loren's worries. Her involvement added fuel to the argument, intensifying the drama and deepening the divide between the two couples on Happily Ever After. Noga apologized to Loren for the trouble she caused. Noga and Loren further insulted Andrei on camera. Loren invited Noga over to sage her house after the debacle that took place over Andrei. She also felt that Noga was very out of character. She had never seen her friend behave like that before, and she'd been friends with Noga longer than Elizabeth. Loren apologized to her best friend for not defending her. Noga believed that something about the way Andrei was speaking to Loren had triggered her. Like I hit such a blackout, like I think I was tricked. Noga admitted she was very ashamed of how she behaved. Loren believed that Andrei was very stoic and old-fashioned, and Noga wished that Andrei had been more considerate of others in his surroundings. Loren and Noga agreed that Andrei was misogynistic because they felt like Andrei thought of himself as superior to women, being a man. Did Loren and Elizabeth end their friendship on Happily Ever After? Loren didn't want to lose Elizabeth. 90 Day Fiance star Loren didn't want the incident to interfere with their friendship. She had been friends with Elizabeth for a few years, and it had put her in a tough spot. She wanted to keep the peace and knew that Elizabeth would need her support when she made the move to Moldova. Loren noticed that Elizabeth didn't tend to stand up to Andrei, and she needed an advocate. I'm about to leave for my trip, but as soon as I get back Loren and I are going to have a conversation and we need to talk about boundaries because she is crossing over all of them. Loren wanted to have a girls' night out since Elizabeth and her family were in Miami for the weekend before they left for Moldova. Loren relayed Noga's apology to Elizabeth. She told Elizabeth she was sorry it happened and admitted she wanted to be friends with Elizabeth as well as Noga. However, Elizabeth told the producers that an apology means nothing if the person repeats their behavior. Loren and Elizabeth are not following each other on Instagram. Is Yara responsible for this? Instead of being positive about Elizabeth's upcoming trip, Loren was still trying to talk her out of it. She wanted to respect her husband and believed that Andrei was choosing to do what was right for her family. Loren had no business trying to question Andrei's decision, and as Yara pointed out, there was a chance that Elizabeth would like to live in Moldova, and, if not, she could live in any nearby European country. It looks like Elizabeth appreciated Yara's reasonable advice and the space she was giving Elizabeth in their friendship. Elizabeth is still following Yara on Instagram but isn't following Loren. Meanwhile, Loren, too, seems to have unfollowed Elizabeth, suggesting that all is not well among the cast members since they filmed 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. 90 Day Fiancé. I see signs that Andrei and Libby's life isn't so perfect anymore. He got American citizenship but there are still red flags. 90 Day Fiancé star Andrei Castrovet rose to fame by lashing out on screen, and although he tries to showcase his perfect life with Libby Potthast, I think he's hiding real problems in their marriage. Andrei just got American citizenship, and the brash Moldovan appears to be extremely content these days. However, it has to be said that Andrei carries a lot of anger. He's a hothead who's frequently irate. In fact, Andrei tends to go berserk when he feels slighted. His hair-trigger temper is the reason why Andrei's an iconic franchise villain. Andrei has greatly benefited from his romance with Libby, whose family, including her father, the scandal-prone Chuck Potthast, appears to be well-to-do. Libby seems to love Andrei a lot, that's why she puts up with his temper tantrums, put-downs and more. These days, as a full-fledged American, Andrei seems to be living the life of his dreams. He spends a lot of time at the gym, goes on beach-wide vacations, and enjoys the meals that Libby lovingly prepares for him. However, in my experience, a leopard does not change its spots. Is Andrei still an angry man? He may not be any different now. Andrei's highly invested in making his romance with Libby seem like a forever match, and it might be, but that doesn't mean Libby's happy all the time. Andrei is very extra. For years, Libby's been dealing with his outbursts. The sad truth is that he's often very rude to his wife. Andrei sort of embodies the spirit of old-timey male chauvinism. Maybe he doesn't feel superior, but often, it seems like he believes he's the man of the house, and that he knows what's best. Libby is seemingly forced into a submissive role as Andrei's such a strong personality. One example is Andrei's constant swearing in Russian. He really unloads, and one Russian-speaking Redditor, while commenting on r/90-day Fiance uncensored thread, said that the words Andrei uses around his family are really offensive. That social media user stated, "I was watching the clothes folding scene, and those little blah or blaya or nah, abbreviation for a really bad word, are all really vulgar and crass cursing words. It's hilarious to hear they bleep out the American F words, but leave out the so much core vulgar Russian curses." Now, he might swear a blue streak but not directed at his wife. Lots of people swear. I have personally dropped some F-bombs, sometimes for comic effect, and other times just to strongly emphasize my, sentiments. However, Andrei's gone beyond swearing to get a reaction. He's put down his long-suffering spouse. For example, he once barked out a crude command, telling Libby to listen double. Everyone gets mad sometimes, and that's fine. It's just that Andrei has had more than his fair share of aggressive moments. He once got into a physical fight while he was supposed to be enjoying dinner with the Pothasts. Near the swimming pool, Libby's brother Charlie Potthast offended Andrei, who sprang into action. The two alpha males fought like wild animals in the jungle, ruining a hamburger party. Andrei even swore at Libby's sister. Watch the drama boil over in the 90-Day Fiance YouTube clip shown below. The problems between Andrei and his family really hit critical mass back then, but nothing has changed, and that's why I believe that he and Libby aren't completely happy. To US Weekly, Andrei described Libby's family as a cult. It was framed as a joke, but it's likely he believes it. Libby and Andrei are a problematic pair who only talk to a few Pothasts now. This kind of damage is likely Andrei's fault. His desire to get money and other perks from his in-laws, even though he obviously disrespected them, was a shining example of a vulgar and mercenary attitude. Andrei should be more grateful for what he's given. The trolls still get a rise out of Andrei. He has trouble dealing with criticism. Libby and Andrei get some shade. Fans don't always appreciate Andrei's lack of refinement. He seems to go too low sometimes, giving into the ugliest aspects of being a human being, the things we're supposed to try to avoid. However, Andrei still gets angry when he's challenged by 90DF fans who clearly have a big problem with his antics. In the Instagram post above, he said that no one's ever rude to him in person. He thinks they don't have the courage. In 8 years of reality fame, they've never said mean things to him in public. 8 years and not one mean comment in person yet. I guess they only exist online. It is cowardly to diss someone so brutally online but never confront them directly? Maybe, but most fans who are keyboard warriors operate this way. It's much easier to be mean when you're not looking someone in the eye when they can't really answer back. In a real-life confrontation, a troll might also get some criticism. While Andrei's responded to his critics in the past, he and Libby seem to prefer joking about what these unhappy 90DF viewers do. The issue here is that Andrei is not comfortable with what is happening. He's boorish, to be sure, but shockingly defensive in light of just how combative he is. It's possible that Libby needs to talk him down a lot. While some fans support the couple, The ones who don't are probably the ones that Andrei thinks about. A man who calls his wife's family a cult and browbeats his wife probably isn't an ideal partner, no matter how hard he tries to create an idyllic picture of his life on Instagram. Andrei has a lot of darkness inside of him. Maybe having children has helped to soothe the savage beast. I hope so, because Libby seems like a pretty nice person. The 90-Day Fiance star doesn't deserve to be emotionally abused by someone who's by her side every day and night. Signs Elizabeth Potthast and Andrei Castrovet need to return to the 90-Day Fiance franchise. They have major updates. Andrei Castrovet and Elizabeth Potthast have experienced some new exciting developments in their relationship, leading to suggestions that they should return to the 90-Day Fiance franchise. The couple was initially featured in 90-Day Fiance Season 5, during which Andrei moved to the United States to marry Elizabeth. However, their path to the altar wasn't without its challenges. Elizabeth's family members were skeptical of Andrei's true intentions to marry her, and he struggled to earn their respect. Despite a few obstacles, the couple ultimately tied the knot in December 2017. Problems in Andrei and Elizabeth's relationship escalated after their wedding. They faced financial challenges and lived in an apartment owned by Elizabeth's father, Chuck Potthast, without paying rent. The couple was accused of taking advantage of Chuck's generosity when they unexpectedly